keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy DCA Day. How's everyone doing today, guys? Pile on in. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's get a poll going. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am still not at my uncle's. I am at my own home with all of this cool stuff behind me. It does not belong to my uncle at all. Is this the God Candle or a bull trap? Let's actually rephrase that. Is this the start of the super cycle? The start of the super cycle or a bull trap? We've got moonbound. Tariffs are done. We've got bull trap. Trump will pivot. We've got just a relief bounce, or we've got markets hate uncertainty. I think. That was fun. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Appreciate you guys for joining me on this lovely Friday evening. Super stoked that it's Friday. I cannot begin to express with words how excited I am that it is indeed Friday. Happy Friday, guys. Bitcoin currently trading at $67,966.95. The big expiry, the record-breaking expiration that took place today was meaningless. It did nothing. So I'm going to delete that. I'm still genuinely convinced that expirations are literally a meme. Whenever somebody's like, record options expiry today, it doesn't do anything ever. Ever. So it's kind of a joke at this point to refer to them. We've got 67,345, 67,345. I've officially watched the first 5 episodes, which are the only ones that are out, of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. 64,703. Now, it's a great show. It's scratching the Game of Thrones itch. 68,329. Is that what that was? 68,329. However, everyone's clamoring about episode 5 being like the greatest episode in television since like one of the episodes of Breaking Bad. I don't feel that way. 73,349. I think our standards have dropped so much. If that's the case, I feel sad for society. It was not a bad episode. I have no issue with the episode, but it definitely was not up there with like any of the great episodes from Game of Thrones, like the Battle of the Bastards or shoot, I forget the one where they're north of the wall. It's called Home something Home. I don't remember. Hard Home? Hard Home. Maybe Hard Home? I don't know. What's going on, Saeed? 88 Metals Mania, G Immortal, Billy, Mr. Robbers. Appreciate you guys. Happy Friday, guys. Let's get a little sip going on. A little sippy sip. Cheers. What episode? Which of okay, episode 5 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Everyone's freaking out. There's all these charts. People are like, this is the highest rated episode of TV since this, besides this episode of Breaking Bad. And I had to see what the hype was about. It is a good show. I will continue to watch it. But that episode was mediocre in comparison to the episodes that they're comparing it to of other shows. I'm just saying. Philly said Trump tariffs will be a sell the news event. Maybe so. What's up, G Immortal? Saeed, how you doing? Happy Friday. Or Saturday for you. Anyways, Bitcoin 67,958.85. That is down 0.09% since the daily close, which was about an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. We got these big, fat, beautiful volume candles on the 4-hour time frame because of the tariff news. Supreme Court of the United States has officially cost me $20 on Kalshi. However, that was my hedge. Because of that, I've made way more money with the market recovering with this lovely little bounce for ants. 88 Metals Mania said, I think the very last episode of Breaking Bad was the worst in history, in my opinion. See, I think the entire final season of Game of Thrones is the worst in history, in my opinion. Like, and that makes me feel bad because so many people worked so hard to make that, but they fudged the story so bad. This is how bad it is. Think of how you feel about Disney's current state of Star Wars. Like the actual original Star Wars, where they had the original trilogy, the prequel, and then this latest trilogy. Think about that. Star Wars had penned a deal on paper with David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. I like to call them Dumb and Dumber, the showrunners from Game of Thrones. They penned a deal. They said, you're going to do the next Star Wars trilogy. And they were like, all right, sick, let's go. We only have 2 seasons of Game of Thrones left, like 10 or 12 episodes each. Then they said, actually, we're going to do 10 episodes each. Then they said, actually, we're only going to do 1 season. And then they said, actually, we're only going to do 8 episodes in that 1 season. So they took 20 to 24 episodes and crammed it into 8. None of it made any sense. There were so many plot holes, and it was so bad that Disney, who, by the way, very famously, according to probably a vast majority of the fan base, has butchered Star Wars. Even Disney watched season 8, and they were like, nah, never mind. We're not feeling it. And they canned the penned deal, which they could get sued for. So, I don't know. I think that that's crazy. Dumb and Dumber then went on to sign a deal with Netflix for the 3-Body Problem, which I still have not watched because the trailer was so god-awful. Like a calculator made out of humans. And I was like, who cares? A calculator made out of people? It was the weirdest thing. But it was supposed to be them and one other guy, and the poor guy that they were doing it with was like poisoned and died before they even made the movie. Blew my mind. I was like, whoa. Weird. It was weird stuff. But I'm not a fan. I think they butchered Game of Thrones. I like The Sopranos. I like Lost. And Lost's ending was super confusing. But still better than Game of Thrones Season 8. Anyways, Bitcoin slowly climbing out of this trench. Again, we continue the trench climb. I don't know why it's taken us so long to get out of this area. There's liquidity constraints. There's FUD. There's tariffs. There's peace in the Middle East or lack thereof. What have you. Bitcoin dominance, down 0.03%, seemingly rejecting 59. This would be good potentially for altcoins. We'll keep an eye on it. What we don't want to do is set up this. We don't want this to do one of these. Basically an inverse head and shoulder. We don't want that. That would be bad. Because that has potential to break 59.5 and what have you. Mr. Robert said Rogue One was pretty solid. I rewatched now and again. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars film, and because of Rogue One, I sat down and watched Andor. Mr. Roberts, have you seen Andor? Andor. It is actually the prequel to Rogue One, telling Cassian's backstory, and oh my gosh, is it freaking phenomenal. Philly said, all these shows have horrible endings because they run them into the ground. The shows went 2 seasons longer than they should have. I disagree with Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones could have had a beautiful ending. I actually wouldn't have minded the ending that they gave us if it had made sense. They cut too much out of the middle. There was no rhyme or reason to the ending at that point. Because they were like, oh, well, we fast-tracked pretty much everyone's storyline, and half of it was abandoned. Anyways, ETH down 0.17% on the day, currently trading at $1,965.53. The Supreme Court, I don't know if you guys saw the title, I'm assuming. The Supreme Court has ruled Donald Trump's IEEPA tariffs illegal, which basically means he's just going to have to go about other means of doing his tariffs. But those other means come with more restrictions, more rules, and I suppose right now we're in a slight era of uncertainty. But, I mean, the stock market responded positively, and metals, probably because of the uncertainty, responded brilliantly. The gold fractal continues to amaze. Obviously, this little lump got shrunken down to this little mutation, and the dip right here got turned into this. So we are now mid-rip, if you will. Everything kind of went whoop to what it was supposed to be. Is gold going to absolutely send it next week? I think so. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm guessing right now that we're going to see some Middle Eastern scenario unfold within the next 48 hours. Totally guessing. Let's see the poll really quick. 3 votes. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button and direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Is this the start of the super cycle or a bull trap? We got Moonbound, tariffs are done. Bull trap, Trump will pivot. Just relief bounce, or markets hate uncertainty, I think. Okay. ETH, we went through. Solana, currently trading at 84.55. Did we go through ETH? 1965. No, we did not. ETH, again, for some reason, ETH is struggling more than, like, pretty much anything, it seems. Everything else has some semblance of volume or movement. ETH has been so ridiculously sideways that I really don't know why. We got a rejection from 2150, a rejection from 21, and this is like a rejection from 2K, but there's really no floor for it to go to at that point. If we lose, like, what is that, 1950? Then we're probably going down to at least 1800. Let's see. Philly said they've exhausted all the plot ideas and the show's natural conclusions suck. But I never watched Game of Thrones. See, I did not mind the ending of The Sopranos or Lost. Mr. Robert said, I have seen Andor and love it. I didn't watch the next season because my system sucks. I don't know where I came up with that word. My system somehow dropped surround sound last year. But I just figured it out last weekend and will continue tonight. Ooh, I'm excited for you. I'm kind of jealous. Me and my daughter are watching The Dragon Prince on Netflix, the animated series. Really good. It like starts off almost two-dimensional from like a story plot point, and they definitely like got better deals with Netflix, and they like increased the animation budget. They increased like the story budget. It got so in depth. We're in the final season right now. But the second to last season that we like just finished last night, one of the episodes was called The Red Wedding. And she was like, The Red Wedding. She was all excited because of the people who were getting married. And I was like, and my fiance was in the other room. I was like, babe, this episode's called The Red Wedding. And she was like, oh no. My daughter was freaking out because she hasn't seen, obviously, the Game of Thrones Red Wedding. It was completely different from the Game of Thrones Red Wedding. But that was pretty funny. They definitely did like a bait and switch. I thought for sure some people were going to get messed up. Okay. Billy's never watched Game of Thrones. That's crazy. I guess I'm 50-50. I think it's like landmark television that requires witnessing, but you can completely skip season 8. Just assume that it got canceled. It's probably just better off with the cliffhanger. Anyways, ETH, I really think needs to get above 2K. Otherwise, we're going down to like 1,800 very least. That's my opinion. It's really struggling to hold any semblance of. We got positive money flow though. I don't know. There's hope, but the flat line on the price is just really like, I'm kind of tweaking watching this thing get more and more flat. There's got to be some kind of Bollinger Band thing occurring. Let's actually check that. I want to check the Bollinger Bands. Do I have Bollinger Bands saved? No. What's going on, Pulse Player? Bollinger Bars, Bollinger Bands. Bam. Yeah, see, the colon is squeezing and the turd is going to explode. Last time we had some boring, like, flat line like this. It did go up. That doesn't always happen, though. Sometimes you get a little fake. Actually, this one squeezed straight down. And then you had a beautiful recovery. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what to think right now. It really is. I don't know if I've ever seen something as flat as ETH is right now. It's crazy. Solana is down 0.04% on the day. We talked about this weird. Well, we were originally calling it an Adam Eve double bottom, which I suppose you could probably call that the neckline. But we rejected, so we tried the copium with this. That, however, did kind of set us up for something, because we're holding that as support as we speak. I don't know. I want to see Solana get above 90. Do you see what I mean, though, when I talk about ETH struggling so much? Even Solana, at least, is going up or down. Up or down. ETH is, like, flat. Like, completely flat. It's crazy. So, I don't know. We got positive money flow. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside. And bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI. All the same for ETH. And all the same for Bitcoin. Positive money flow, too. Total 3 up 0.03% on the day. The pump for ants continues. The lower trend line allegedly holding. It's very sloppy lower trend line. Not a ton of confluence, but this is an ascending channel. So it will eventually probably break to the downside unless we invalidate it, in which case it'll probably be a glorious invalidation to the upside. Money flow here has been positive since mid-February, so that's exciting. Possibility of a reversal is higher than normal. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside. Big fat cloud to the downside as well. So I feel like there's a potential recovery in here. Bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI with a retest confirmed as support. And we got above 711. Let's see if we can at least test 750 on total 3. ADA is down 0.74% on the day. A lot of volume on ADA for some reason. This candle earlier, 4.34%. I don't know why this thing's trying to push up really, really hard. Kind of impressed. Green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside, positive money flow since mid-February, and bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI today. So we'll see what plays out with that. Let's test and see if we can break above 30. Snack up 0.49% on the day. Beautiful recovery from this bad boy, sitting at 59.57. Can we get above 6? Obviously, I'm very happy about this. Bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI between yesterday and today. Green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside. And money flow just crossed positive. We'll see if that sticks. We have to wait for this 4-hour candle close to solidify that. Midnight up 0.7%. I don't know why. This is like literally perfectly following my lines. It's freaking me out. Because I don't really trade this. I have a little bit of it. So I'm kind of excited because we got rejection, support, midpoint, support, rejection. Are we going to midpoint bounce and then break above that? It's just weird seeing it actually like perfectly obey my lines. Because these lines are from, what, like back here? I was like, well, there's not a ton of confluence. So these are the only areas where I really could see anything happening. And then stuff started to happen. Mr. Roberts said, JJ, can we do the reverse of all-time high calls and maybe start doing bottom bear calls? I'll throw out 53K. We actually have that. I will put your 53K in here, Mr. Roberts. 53 and Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts. Bottom, yes. Okay, so originally we had done crypto winter bottoms and bear market bottoms. Justin Makachek, crypto winter, was 85. And by crypto winter, we mean like short term downtrend and then like longer chop and then eventual uptrend. No like prolonged deep trench. Obviously, that came and went. But Justin Makachek was at 85, 177. Tishu was at 79. I was at 75. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn was at 74.5. My bear market bottom was 70K. We went well below that. Dream Tanks is the closest so far with 53,527. And Mr. Roberts, you are at 53 now. My guess for absolute moonage rampage is at 51.5, and that is, it's blue because it's different from our original green guesses. Lunar Entity guessed 48,000. We got Tishu Crypto Bear Market Bottom at 39. 39 is what everyone's calling for. That's strictly based off of the same exact measurement that we had last time. Now, what I did recently, I don't remember what chart it was on, but it was on a higher time frame. I think it might have been, let me just find it. Let's go to the daily. Let's zoom way the heck out. Yeah, it was this one. It was this one. Okay. Let's go to the weekly then. So I had realized that the RSI had a pattern, a repeating pattern. So let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. RSI, this goes all the way back to 2015. So this is a 11-year-old pattern. 11-year-old pattern. We've got the establishment, and then we have bear market bottom right here. And by bear market bottom, I don't mean the lowest price. I mean the lowest RSI level. Our lowest RSI level, bear market bottom right here, was December 2018. That was a 84% drawdown. Right here, June 2022, that was a 71% drawdown. And then right now, we have yet to hit that. If we go 58%, that guess is 51.5. And again, I don't know if that guarantees that this will hit. It might have to go lower for that to hit. But right now, I'm guessing 51.5 will result in our RSI hit. And then I'll give us the next boost. Now, this does, unfortunately, reaffirm the whole 4-year cycle argument. Because if you go from here to here, what is that? 2015 to 18. I guess that's 3 years. Then the 4th year would be the bear market where everything grinds for 12 months. And then again, you go from that to here, 2022, 18, 19, 20, 20. So that's 4 years right there. That's a little bit better. Maybe this is extended cycle diminishing returns. And then from 22 to 26, that's 4 years as well. Ryan said, "Oh snap, it's Lord Commander JJ." Mr. Roberts said, "LOL, my bad. Guess I missed a few streams." It happens. I mean, I've been streaming at like freaking midnight, so anyone that has not been able to attend, I don't blame you guys. All right. So yeah, that's the 4-year cycle. At least the last 2 times has been exactly 4 years. Back here, at least with the establishment of this trend line, it started 3 years prior. So maybe you could make the argument for extended cycle diminishing returns, because this one right here could go a 5th year. You know, we've got 3, we've got 4, and we're just assuming that this one's also going to be 4. If not, though, if this rebounds and then we go and establish that trend line touch way over here, that could be the 5th year. Who knows? Which would be really funny. Ben Cowan would probably have a brain aneurysm. But sometimes people are wrong. What would be crazy is, I think at this point, I'm willing to admit that it would be absolutely insane if we were not obeying the 4-year cycle. I would be totally okay with that, but it would definitely catch me off guard. Because right now it seems like it has perfectly nailed it. All right. XRP up 0.8%, 0.08, I'm sorry, 0.08%. We got, again, this is our copium attempt right here with our slanted lines. We got some support, resistance, support again. If we're going to hold the support, can we get a break back above 150, hopefully? We're at 143.06 as we speak. Bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI. green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside, and money flow has been positive since February 14th, since Valentine's Day. Very cool. What's nice is that the RSI is smack dab in the middle, so you can go up or down, and you got plenty of room to do so. H-bar, not a whole lot going on. I do like the H-bar is battling this 10-cent level. It's a big psychological level, and I like that it's well above. H-bar is one of the few coins that actually like crashed and then recovered a little bit, so that you can actually see the crash, and it's not just like hanging out with the crash like their buddies. Ryan said LMAO 5-year cycle to take out Ben Cowan. That would be hilarious. What would be even funnier is some of the footage that I have from that stupid video, the smear campaign video that I made of Ben Cowan, shows him talking about the extended cycle and denouncing the 4-year cycle. So it would be funny if like old school Ben Cowan was right and new school Ben Cowan was recency bias, because he talks about that in that video. It's so good. Pickle Rick said, but the aliens, JJ, you think they will buy BTC, or do you think they will get EBT? Oh, they're 100% going to get EBT. What if the aliens show up and they just turn into like these fat, like welfare trailer park beings? We need your help. What do you need? Is there a problem on your planet? No, we don't want to work. We can't work. It gives us anxiety. We are upset. Stop offending us. Stop filming me. I'm filming you too. The alien's just a Karen. It just grows the hair out. Ryan said, you said silver is gonna moon because of aliens and tariffs? Absolutely. Yes. Silver is mooning because of aliens and tariffs. Look at that. Ooh. It is definitely not at the same price that it was at Wednesday, February 11th. Wednesday, February 4th. Tuesday, unfortunately, that's not a Wednesday again. Tuesday, February 3rd, or Friday, January 30th. It is not at that same price. Ryan said, aliens cooking hot dogs on the backyard grill. Dude, if aliens just like fully assimilated and just were like one of the bros, I do enjoy the idea that certain people are aliens and they just like, they're so good at hiding it, but they're not like malicious. They just want to like hang out. Silver do be looking sexy. I concur. And my silver long is going to make up for my $20 that I lost betting that the Supreme Court was going to rule in favor of Trump's tariffs today. By the way, guys, if you want to be a complete degenerate gambler and bet with Kalshi, use my link in the description. Sign up there and deposit and trade with $25 or more, and we will both receive $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Help support the channel. It is, however, degenerate gambling, so treat it as such. Do not bet with more money than you can afford to lose. If you have a betting or gambling problem, contact somebody that can help you. I'm not a financial advisor. CoinMarketCap Fear and Greed is at 14. Subscribe if you haven't already. Top 10 looks identical to what it looked like yesterday. No changes there. Let's go check Fear and Greed really quick. 8. That's my favorite number. 8 and 7 was yesterday. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. We went from 9. I don't remember what it was the day before yesterday. I know they've been flip-flopping, and CoinMarketCap has been flip-flopping the opposite, which would be really funny. 14, what were we? Yesterday we were 12. Okay. So we are less fearful according to CoinMarketCap, more fearful. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. That is less. Okay. My bad. My bad. 8 versus 14. That's actually funny. Usually these are the opposite. Usually alternative is more bullish, less fearful, and CoinMarketCap is more fearful. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I will say 5 the other day was kind of crazy. This is the lowest we've been, and that was only once before, but you're not allowed to see it unless you like really play with this. You got to really diddle the bits. Oh, right there, August 22nd, 2019. And we charted that. I don't remember where it was. August 22nd, 2019. Let's go put it up here. I got to go to the daily, actually. August 22nd, 2019. Let me just excuse all of the hoarding on my chart, please. August 22nd, 2019. Right, horizontal, vertical. June, July, August 21, August 22nd, 2019. There you go. 5 on CoinMarketCap. Type, right? Yeah. 5 on CoinMarketCap. Fear. Nope, not on CoinMarketCap. I'm sorry. On alternative.me. Fear and greed. Lowest ever. Besides the one that we just got. February 12th. Wow. February 12th. February 12th. 5 on alternative.me. Fear and greed. Lowest ever. I'm not going to put that there, actually. I'm going to delete this because there's too much stuff on this chart already. We'll just remember the old one. Oh no, JJ Math. I mean, this one's easy. It's like JJ Calendar. This one's hard to mess up. Okay. Well, I think we went through all the coins, all the cryptos, all those cryptocurrencies that we cared about. Avalanche not doing a whole lot. Still struggling with $10. I mean, it's back above 9, which is good. Chainlink, for some reason, can't get back above 9. It's like really having a hard time. I guess we'll take 8.95. It's not bad. I feel like there's supposed to be lines all over this, but it's been so long and we've dropped so far that there are no more. We have worked our way out of the hoarding pile of lines on the chart on Chainlink. That's how bad it's gotten. Avalanche, not too far, but still has strayed away from the hoard. Chainlink definitely made its way completely out of the pile. Chainlink is in the backyard right now, and there's snow covering all the garbage. Okay, gold. Gold looks so good right here. 2.14% on the day. That is also Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. Mr. Robbers. Okay, hang on. We got some catching up to do. Let me catch up on the chat really quick. Ryan said, you ever see the movie The Watch? It's a neighborhood watch to look out for aliens starring Jonah Hill, Ben Stiller, and the guy from Wedding Crashers. I have, actually. I remember that. Mr. Roberts said, I sold Bitcoin through 80 to 120, but bought more at 103, which I will round trip. I also have alts that will round trip and price sell at a loss. Alts were only a small part of the port, thankfully. Brian said, you heard Shia LaBeouf knocked out those homos in New Orleans? No. What? Jeez. Tom Sellerscott said, oh no, JJ Math. Ryan said, Bitcoin 71K before 55K. I'm just here for the lore. February 29th, all-time high guaranteed. We fell below the line pile. Yeah. Pigorick said, wasn't there a bet or something on a chart? Me and Philly were going to try to make a bet, but I don't think he understood the bet. Is that what you're talking about? That was like 2 days ago in the Discord. Did we have another bet? I feel like there was another bet. And it was on... I have to dig through the pile of crap that I have on here. Retrace target, old all-time high, random guess. JOS Adventure, top estimates from everybody. Yeah, I don't know. all the crap on the chart. I'm telling you guys, we have to just purge the charts one day. Very, very soon, probably. We're gonna have a chart purging ceremony. We're gonna light a candle and stuff, play some music, have some drinks, do like a little going away party for the chart lines, and we can put new lines on the chart. It's fine. Totally fine. But gold, we have the OG gold fractal, and we came to terms with the idea that not every fractal is going to be the same. So instead of skewing this bad boy and mutilating it, we just decided to hand draw it. The original hand drawn is right here. That one didn't end up playing out as nicely as I wanted it to, so I kind of ditched it, and we drew a secondary. You can pivot 3 or 4 times and then still claim to be correct. As of right now, I'm going to take all 3 of them and claim victory, because that's what you do. You move the goalpost and you're always right. So we got our dip, rip, dip, rip, dip, rip, dip, rip, if you will. Those are very technical terms, so if you guys don't understand or don't follow along, don't feel bad. Dipping and ripping, it's very complicated. Once you get a handle on it, though, it's like riding a bike. 51.08 on the price of gold, looking good. Are we going to very nicely round to the upside now? That would be pretty sick. I'm guessing so. And again, we talked about it a little bit earlier briefly. I'm thinking that we're going to probably have escalation in the Middle East on either tomorrow or Sunday. And It's a total guess. Apparently, there's some moon crap that everyone's talking about. We have to have a special kind of moon to invade or something like that. I don't know. I've never been a big moon guy when it comes to charts or war. So let's see if that ends up being true. I don't think you need the moon to cooperate in order for you to bomb a place, though. So we'll see what happens. Regardless, the uncertainty of the tariffs and the uncertainty of the potential geopolitical tensions in the Middle East escalating are leading to, in my opinion, a rise in precious metals because they are supposed to be the ultimate hedge. They've been getting kind of shafted with everything else. And for the first time in a while, they have been unshafted and have begun doing the shafting, if you will. They're the one who shafts. Brian said, ripping tins and dipping tins. Pickerick said, it was one like 2 months ago, I think, over a burrito or something. A burrito. A burrito. I don't remember a burrito. I remember saying that I would eat a sock or something like that. That was, I think it was between me and Tom Selleck Scout. I don't remember what it was about, though. Mr. Roberts said, JJ, I like it. Reset the chart and hold into our asses. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to do it today. I'm not going to empty out my hoarding stash on a whim. It's going to be a special ceremony. Tom Selleck Scout said, yes. Ah, yes, the old Rippy Dippy. Indubitably, the old Rippy Dippy, indeed. Okay, JJ Mukbang. That's not out of the question. Silver. Silver looks gorgeous. We had a descending channel after a big fat dumperino. Actually at the ass end of January. So we had our January colon cleanse has occurred, and the February ascension into descension is complete, and we can now rise. Green dot on the momentum wave, point to the upside. We did not quite go oversold. Is there bullish dip? No, it's kind of pushing it. Oh, actually, maybe. We do have, it's very, very faint. We got higher price, lower RSI. It's just barely, though, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it. I don't remember. I saw something very recently. It was a guy doing an interview, and he was like talking about how he still didn't feel too hot about crypto because every time he asks a crypto person how stablecoins can benefit society, they give him word salad or something like that. I thought that was really funny because how true is that? That is 1000% true. The word salad game in crypto is top notch. Look at Saylor. Michael Saylor's whole thing is word salad. And it actually has worked for him to the tune of like hundreds of billions of dollars. So, I mean, if you learn a word salad good enough, you can become the president of the United States. Tom Selleck Scott said, I don't bet. I'm not a degen. I mean, it ain't betting if you win. Ooh. Okay. Sign up for Kashi. Link in the description. Anyway, silver looks awesome. $84.62. We broke above the upper trend line, which happened to be right at the end where we drew it. Got above 77, which was my, I don't remember what was 77. It was my original top guess back here. We kind of hit it. We got a little pullback, broke above it, support, continuation, looks good, and then we actually pulled back to it beautifully. If that is what has played out, then I'm going to call this and say it didn't quite happen back here. Back here, I would have bet that we would have broken down and retested that previous high and then continued. We didn't even have that happen. But we got way above here, broke down, retested this high, and now we might continue to the upside. That'd be pretty sick. We've seen it play out 1,000 times. Next goal for silver, in my opinion, getting above 90. Getting above 90. I'm going to go with 88 personally because that's my favorite number twice. I do like doubles of things that I like. So, outside of that, though, let's get above 90 and then eventually 100. We were looking for $100 before the end of January 2026. That was probably back here, actually, and that came way early. Or maybe it came actually at the perfect time, January 23rd. We hit that. Saeed, by the way, I don't know if you're still here, Saeed. Guys, Saeed was the one that said 115 and then significant pullback for silver. We hit 115, went barely above it, 120, and then insta-dumped. So, again, I got to continue to give props to Saeed for calling that. That was a beautiful call. If we would have traded that, we would have made a ridiculously large sum of money. Tom Selleck's goat said, it's the community, bro. The community behind these stablecoins is strong. All of crypto is a Ponzi. Buy stocks, kids. Stocks are a Ponzi too, though. I think, who was it? Was it Meet Kevin? Somebody I was watching today, I think it was Meet Kevin. They were explaining that the U.S. government is a Ponzi. Just money is a Ponzi. And I was like, finally, somebody like mainstream understands. Because that really is what it is. And if they're not, the reliance on population growth is also a Ponzi. Because you use that to justify printing more money, and then you don't give the money to the people that are being born. You just distribute it amongst your bros. That's a Ponzi. Tom Selleck's goat, all of crypto is a... Yep, we read that. Mr. Robert said, JJ, if you held a live vid, like Teams or Zoom or whatever, where we can all meet each other and present our future thesis, might be fun. I'd be game. We can actually do that in the Discord. We used to do that in the Discord. So, I don't know if you guys know the lore. I've originally was like birthed in the Jordan Cameron Discord. And we all used to be like best buddies, and we would watch Jordan's live streams every day. Well, Jordan stopped live streaming, and everyone was like, when stream, and I was like, I mean, I can stream. So I started streaming, and we used to all hang out in Jordan's Discord, and then he kind of stopped coming around, and he was the only one with admin privileges, so we all made our own Discords, and it kind of dissented from there. But if you guys want to do that, I'm actually totally down. We can do it in the Discord. We can share our screens and stuff like that. I think that's a great idea, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Completely free as well, by the way. I think it's weird when people charge for that stuff. I will never. That's weird. That's so weird. Like, hey, do you guys want to hang out and like we can bounce ideas off of each other and stuff, and you guys can give me money? What? What did you just say? That's crazy. So, totally down. I think that sounds like a ton of fun. Okay. Silver, 7.76 in the green. This is giving me like meme coin vibes. Not in a bad way, in like the tingly gambly sensation. My brain is like, ooh, buy more silver, which I feel like I haven't experienced in quite some time, so I'm excited. DXY down 0.03. It has continued to stay above the 15-year trend line that goes all the way back to April 2011. Let's see if we hold it when we come down here. We are seemingly rejecting around the same level of 98. We got a little bit above it, but I'm going to call it the same level. So far, we got a potential double top, but again, we're in this ascending triangle, ascending wedge. Are we going to break to the downside? I suppose that's a hope. That's a hope for our asset valuations. If it doesn't, though, it's not necessarily a bad thing. We just get more spending power outside of investments. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Technically, we would get more spending power with our investments as well. So, I guess if you want to silver line it, if you want to like kind of torpedo brain the discussion, a pumping bullish DXY is good for everybody because you get to buy more stocks with it. That just means that your asset prices are probably going to drop, but your groceries will technically be cheaper. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, up 1.24% on the day, currently trading at 130.95 cents. This has been holding up quite well, and it's very impressive. We got Vanguard making a purchase on January 20th, and just a couple of days ago, Charles Schwab doubled their holdings. So I don't know if they know something or if they're just anticipating some kind of Clarity Act signing pump or something like that. But smart money, institutional money, big money is buying MicroStrategy and Bitmine. So I'm going to continue to keep my eye on it. I did double down on Bitmine. It's $20, so I threw some more money at it today after the tariff ruling because it seemed like a good continued buying opportunity. If this is going to break down, I don't know how much lower it's going to go. And I like the false break to the downside of this triangle. Not to mention, this meteoric rise couple 1,000%, followed by a monstrous dump, 80%. I feel like 80% down, there's bound to be some kind of recovery, even if it's not 100%. If it goes up to $40, that's a 100% trade on a stock. That's insane. And again, their investment into Beast Industries, regardless of how you feel about him, Mr. Beast is the largest content creator on the planet. So it seems kind of silly to not place a bet with those people. NASDAQ up 0.8% on the day. NASDAQ did like whatever news we had today. We got kind of a triple bottom, potential inverse head and shoulder situation going on here. I also pointed out how we kind of had something like this play out with ETH earlier in, I don't know, the past 24 months. And I vividly remember it because it was such a weird pattern. So I'm curious to know if this is going to play out the same way. I'm going to leave this here. We're going to keep an eye on it. Maybe Monday we get that. I don't know. Maybe we don't get it at all, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. S&P, similar situation with the green candle, up 0.69, nice percent on the day, $6,909.52. That's actually quite poetic. It's at 0.69 and it's sitting at 69. That's pretty sick. With the fractal, Ask Fractal 3.0, if you will, we are looking at a potential Thursday next week explosive move to the upside. Again, that's going to be strictly based on news, geopolitical tensions, the market, what have you. The fractal has already decoupled. It's probably played out, I don't remember, what did we say, 65, 75, 80%? So I'm happy with it. If it doesn't play out any further, then it'll retire a hero, nonetheless. Let's go back to Bitcoin really quick. Let me check up on the poll and probably do another one. We got several polls for tonight. I'm equally as excited as I was the other day. I asked you guys, yeah, I'm going to end it. We got 12 votes. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. I asked you guys, is this the start of the super cycle or a bull trap? 42% of you guys said bull trap. Trump will pivot. 33% said just a relief bounce. 17% said moon-bound tariffs are done. And 8% said markets hate uncertainty, I think. All right, let's get to poll number 2. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Let's see. Do we go stimmy or refund? Let's go with refund. Will the government need to refund the billions from tariffs? You got yes, every penny. We've got stuck in court for years. We've got no way. Whoops. No way. They'll block it. And we've got they'll just print it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys, will the government need to refund the billions from tariffs? Yes, every penny. Stuck in court for years. No way, they'll block it, or they'll just print it anyways. Ryan said, raise taxes, citizenship fee for all Americans. I'm pretty sure that the tariffs are still intact. What we're seeing now is a removal of the uncertainty. There's no longer, oh, can Trump use IEEPA to do tariffs and whatever? He can't. And unfortunately for him, his alternative means, I think, lower his amount that he can tariff, or they add a duration of time for his... So there's like a lot of constraints, a lot of hoops that he has to jump through for continuing tariffs. That being said, with the uncertainty removed around the Supreme Court and all that, I think that silver and gold are probably going to pump because there is more uncertainty around what he's going to do in response. And obviously the geopolitical tensions with Iran. Everything else, I think, is going to potentially at least rebound slightly in the short term even. Because the uncertainty of the Supreme Court being like yes or no, that is gone now. So there's still some things that are up in the air, but the big chunk of like, well, we're not sure what'll happen is completely gone. So I think that's overall kind of bullish, maybe? Tom Selexcoat said, no way they refund the tariffs, and nor should they. It's too complicated. I think Trump already figured out a new way to still do them. I agree. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to end up with anyways. Let's get to the news segment. We've got some fun stuff. Bull Theory posted 19 hours ago, get ready for a volatile Friday. Q4 GDP U.S. core PCE inflation, manufacturing PMI, new home sales, Supreme Court tariff ruling, growth, inflation, housing trade policy. Very cool. I'm excited. This is pretty great. Clarity Act about to pass into law. Pro-crypto president, pro-crypto admin, pro-crypto Fed chair, pro-crypto SEC chair, pro-crypto CFTC chair. Banks can now custody crypto. Swift moving on-chain. DTCC moving on-chain. Realizing we are in the shakeout before the breakout. Now, I've talked about this a bunch. I'm going to continue to talk about it. I think that the argument that all these big like Google's going to come in and be like, we're going to use Ethereum for whatever. Google's not. Why would Google ever touch anything that they didn't make? You know what I mean? I can see maybe Apple like partnering with a chain temporarily, whatever, because they just kind of pivoted for their AI and stuff like that. But it's too easy to copy paste, make your own chain, or hire somebody to make a chain for you. And that way you don't have to worry about any third party like liability situation where like, oopsie, Vitalik, I did something and I have no control over it. My company's now dumping in the stock market because I accidentally relied on some random kid, some nose picking kid. You know what I mean? It seems silly to me to think that like these gigantic, like hundreds of billions, $trillion organizations are going to go, yep, that basement dwelling guy that made that chain, that really sweaty looking dude that has no hair and somehow has billions of dollars, I'm going to put my money and my faith and my entire business in his hands. They've never done that before. I don't think they'll ever do that. So, I don't know. Tom Saltzgoat said GDP was ass cheeks and CPI was hot. Market seemed to not care. Yeah, market doesn't care, which is nice. We're reaching that point. President Trump orders government to release classified files on aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrial life, and unidentified aerial phenomena. I swear, I got deja vu when this happened. Because Trump talked about it, and I read it, and I was like, didn't we just do this? And it's always a nothing burger. They're like, check out this video of this UFO from this drone, and everyone's like, we saw that 15 years ago. They're like, but what about this one? We have the same thing captured on a satellite camera, a different angle. This one is taken from a plane and it splashes in the water, and it's the same exact thing every time. And it's always the organizations that are like, well, we think that there's aliens, there's definitely unidentified things in the sky. And it's just a weird announcement every time. They're like, we're going to talk about aliens. And they talk about the same thing every single time. It's silly. Do you remember when that guy called Buzz Aldrin a coward? And Buzz Aldrin just punched him in the face? That's so funny, dude. Tom Selleck-Scott said, counterpoint, ETH has never been down. Oh, wrong, my friend. You are incorrect. Let's ask Mr. Grok here. Let's make sure we go to 4.2. Mr. Grok, has Ethereum ever been down? Because I'm pretty sure it has. There are very few chains that have never been down. I'm pretty sure ETH is one of them that have. Watcher Guru posted, Elon Musk says he will likely pay over $500 billion in taxes by the time he dies. That's crazy. I gotta say, he's not looking too healthy. President Trump says the Democrats' shutdown cost the U.S. at least 2 points in GDP. I hate it when people do points. It drives me crazy. Ryan said it was so easy for a business or entity to create a new coin. Why doesn't Trump coin have more followers? If it was so easy. I never said that the coin was good. It's just too easy to copy paste. Here's my counterpoint to you, Mr. Ryan. If Chainlink is the very fabric that weaves together the entire blockchain ecosystem, why is it literally like far from the top 10? Because no one needs to buy the token to use Chainlink services. Chainlink did not do the XRP cult following setup where you get people to buy the token regardless. What else do you not need? Pith, same thing. You do not need to own Pith to use their services. VeChain, when they were still doing supply chain before they pivoted to like whatever the flavor of the week was, You do not need to own VChain to use their supply chain management. Fartcoin, you don't need to own Fartcoin to fart. Like anyone that offers a service, Aerodrome, I don't think you need to own Arrow in order to use their decks. Hype, same thing. You do not need to own Hype to use the Hype decks. It's just, I don't know. I feel bad pointing that out, but it's true. Like I could enterprise with Chainlink. I could require Chainlink for every aspect of my business. My business could operate a multi-billion-dollar, multi-trillion-dollar conglomerate, and we could partner with Chainlink and do 50% of our business with them, and not one coin would be purchased by my company. What about that? Use case and tokenomics are unrelated entirely. Unfortunately, they shouldn't be, but for whatever reason, everyone's like, oh my gosh, all these coins do all these great things. And then if you ask them, what do you need to buy the coin for then? They either have an answer that is incorrect or they just don't know. Or maybe they'll realize. Maybe you hit them with reality. They're like, oh, fuck. And then they realize and they saw all their bags and they like go full Unabomber. Hopefully that's not the case, but because use case doesn't require a shitcoin that fluctuates in value attached to it. Tone Vase, 10 Commandments. So riddle me this then. Why? If I'm adopting cryptocurrencies, why wouldn't I only adopt stablecoins? You know what I mean? Like stablecoins are the only coins with a solid use case, in my opinion, as of right now, besides like ecosystems. Ecosystem plays make sense. I like to buy ETH to use ETH in like DeFi. I like to buy Avalanche to use Avalanche in DeFi on the Avalanche ecosystem. I like to buy Solana and Cardano and XRP and whatever. They all have ecosystems, and if you participate in those ecosystems, you have to buy those coins to transact in those ecosystems. Not all the time. Sometimes you can buy a stablecoin issued on that chain. But the ecosystem play makes the most sense, in my opinion, as far as use case goes, for stuff like DeFi and all the fun, like degenerate cypherpunk things that crypto kind of was built upon. Not Bitcoin, but crypto. Tom Selleck's Goat said, right, so all coins are going to zero other than Bitcoin. Congrats, you are now a Bitcoin maxi. Mr. Robert said, JJ, can you check the BX chart again? I played the first bounce off the 200 week or 200 week with options and bought it again today for some June 18 calls. I was very interested in those gold calls. Puts? I don't remember. BX, the one that bets that the number is going to go up. Blackstone, you said you played. Let's see. I played the first bounce off the 200 week with options and bought in again today for some 18 calls. Okay. Let's go for some June 18th calls. Let's go to the daily. 200 bounce. Where was that? Am I crazy? We're on the daily. I played the first bounce off the 200 week. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, man. Let's go to the weekly. Get rid of Vu Manchu. And bam. Okay, very nice. Very nice. So you're breaking below that. You have done so in the past, but very infrequently. I mean, history shows, going back to 2007, that's the perfect time to buy, right below the 200. Beautiful. Not financial advice, obviously. You're about to be oversold on the weekly, which is a big deal. You have been oversold on the weekly. Okay, 1, 2 very early on at launch, obviously. I'm assuming that's launch. And then you got January 16th, or I'm sorry, January 11th, 2016. We'll talk January, February 2016. And then crash, I'm assuming pandemic crash, March 2020. So I'm not counting way back here. If we're counting recent history, we've got 1, 2 below, or 2 instances of oversold on the weekly. You did have bearish div, which I'm assuming is what's playing out right now. Yeah, that looks great. I mean, technically that played out right here. So you had potential for recovery. Didn't quite make it. Now you have bullish div. So I'm not even going to say if, I'm going to say when. When you get your reversal from dipping below the 200, you will have established bullish divergence. So let's say you go oversold. Let's say the price goes like this, and then it goes boop, boop, and then it rebounds. You get that dip, that recovery, that sideways chop, and then explosion. That will give you your bullish divergence, which will be a nice play. And we've talked about this in the past. Again, this is like degenerate cryptocurrency brain applying to a lovely investment stock. But this right here, your bearish div pushing into bullish div, we call the pressure cooker. And we've seen it play out 2 times in a row. And then that leads to a monstrosity move to the upside. So argument would be that it's going to play out 1 more time. Same exact thing. Bearish div, bullish div, and then it would go boom, explosive to upside. Now, I'm not going to say that that's going to happen here. Obviously, this thing's probably got enormous valuation, completely different from cryptocurrency, but I like the bearish div pushing it into bullish div, and I like the 50 and 200 play, or the 200 week play, because every time it's gone below that has been a beautiful buying opportunity. The MACD is looking so good. I'm scared of seasonal SPY dip, but I'm on the BX trade all the same. Respect it. I do like this as well as consolidation. Like, it's very clearly consolidating right here. So you got potential for a bounce. You got potential for a little chop and then a bounce, whatever. You even got potential for a break below, bounce, and then a rebound. I don't know. If you really zoom out and scrunch it in there, it looks like a flag. Like, this looks like a beautiful flag. I could sell that. A little snake oil. But yeah, it looks good. Looks very nice. Let's get rid of the moving averages. Let's get Wu Manchu back up here. Let's get back to Bitcoin. Back to the 4 hour. Yeah, I gotta purge the charts so bad. All these lines are out of control. How did you guys let it get this bad? It's your fault entirely. $68,028.55, guys. Don't forget to answer the poll in the chat. We got 9 people watching, guys. Smash the like button. I asked you guys, will the government need to refund the billions of tariffs, or billions of dollars from tariffs? We're at 50-50 right now. Can we break the 50-50 tie? Let's continue the news segment. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin is either going to $0 or $1 million. That's my thing. And that's my primo copium. Downside risk stops at 0. Upside reward is literally infinite. The stock market has crashed. The stock market has plummeted. The stock market has gone to 0, hypothetically. The stock market, the cryptocurrency market, all of these things have played out, and they recover every single time. So as long as you're not trying to retire next month, you're probably good. Tom Stocks Goat said, Did you see you were wrong about ETH and decided not to bring it back up? It's actually right here. No, the Ethereum mainnet has never been down. Okay, in the sense of a complete outage or halt in block production since its launch in July 2015. Okay, I had no idea. May 2023 finality hiccups. The network stopped finalizing blocks for 25 minutes. Let me read that again. May 2023 finality hiccups. The network stopped finalizing blocks for 25 minutes. Then 1 hour due to a technical issue. Blocks continued to be produced, but finality paused temporarily. Users could still submit transactions, though with risk of reorgs or delays. The issue resolved itself without intervention. Infra outage. A major RPC, MetaMask, blah, 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 went down due to outdated client software clashing with consensus bug fix. client-specific attacks or bugs. Missed slots or minor liveness wobbles. What down? True downtime. Block production stops entirely. This has happened to other chains, Solana multiple times with many Ethereum layer 2s. Okay, I will give them that. You know, they got self-healing. This actually sounds kind of impressive when you read about it, but it's not as impressive as you think it would be with the enterprise blockchain, especially in 2023. It has maintained continuous liveness, producing blocks every 12 to 15 seconds for over 10 years, even though major upgrades like the merge, multiple hard forks, and high traffic periods, widely cited as extraordinary achievement for a decentralized network like this. It's not decentralized. Confirming zero full network downtime. Good for them. In short, if you define Ethereum down as core chain stopping, the answer is no. It's one of the most reliable large blockchains. If you mean, could I always easily use it via popular apps wallets? Then yes, there have been frustrating moments due to centralized dependencies like infra or temporary performance dips, but the decentralized protocol itself has never failed to keep ticking. Well, good for them. That's quite impressive, actually. It does sound like it has had hiccups, though. It's not down, they patch it. I don't know. It sounds like they didn't do anything. It patched itself, which is impressive in itself, but it still kind of seems like it wasn't like, they're like, well, your tire's not flat, but you can't go anywhere. What do you mean? Well, the tire's not flat, but the wheel is off the car. But the car still works, and the tire still has air in it. So nothing's broken. What are you talking about? I can't drive anywhere. But nothing is broken. Okay. Breaking. Supreme Court strikes down President Trump's tariffs. It is the IEEPA tariffs. That's what these stupid community notes about. The community note is annoying sometimes. It's kind of like a, I don't know, a little know-it-all. They're like, but this. Supreme Court rules President Trump's exceeded powers by imposing tariffs without Congress approval. President Trump says the Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is a disgrace. President Trump says he has a backup plan for tariffs. Goldman Sachs says Supreme Court ruling won't end tariffs, expects Trump administration to use alternative legal framework. Oh, since we're doing random interruptions in the news segment, I have decided that if Bitcoin goes below 40K, I'm going to do as much as I can to accumulate one full Bitcoin. Mr. Roberts said, what if the Bitcoin cycle is literally not different this time or ever? October 2025 top is not different. October 2026 low, maybe not different too. That's entirely possible. We've discussed that. We've discussed that as well. That's definitely the case so far. The top has been the same, and the bottom could be the same. This guy posted this in 2023, which shows you how we do in fact live in a simulation. What's crazy is it will be impressive if that plays out, simply because the ETFs, like institutional adoption and ETF inflows and stuff like that, inflows and outflows, all of that stuff not affecting the 4-year cycle will literally blow my mind. Now, I don't know. It's just it seems to me that it should be different because of the amount of liquidity, basically replacing minor sell pressure, which is usually what dictates the 4-year cycle based on mining block rewards and whatnot. So, well, obviously we'll see what plays out. But I am excited. Nonetheless, I am genuinely excited. I talked about it in the past. The most money I ever made in crypto was coming out of the previous bear market. And that's probably because we didn't have like a blow off top fun time for altcoins, but we're not going to talk about that. So I'm excited to climb out of this, what we're calling at the moment, bear market again. Okay. He has to do something about the courts, the Supreme Court against tariffs. Very cool. Supreme Court won't end tariffs. Expects Trump administration to use alternative legal framework. 40% chance the Supreme Court forces President Trump to refund $175 billion in tariff revenue. What do we got? We got 7 votes. Okay. The poll is complete. I'm ending it. We're going to do poll number 3. I asked you guys, will the government need to refund the billions from tariffs? 57% of you guys said stuck in court for years. 43% of you said no way, they'll block it. 0% said yes every penny. 0% said they'll just print it anyways. Poll number 3. This one is the one that I'm most curious about. I was cracking up during the press conference. Are we going to get a stimmy still? We've got yes, tariffs staying. We've got no, that was a lie. We've got yes, they'll just print it. Wash. And we've got no. Whoops. Oh, shoot. Yes, they'll just print it. Sorry. Wash. And then we've got no. They'll blame SCOTUS. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. I asked you guys, are we still going to get a stimmy? You got yes, tariff staying. No, that was a lie. Yes, they'll just print it. Wash, or no, they'll blame the Supreme Court of the United States. So I'm listening to the press conference. I'm at work, and all these people, they're asking questions. They're like, President, blah, 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 blah. And he's pointing people out, and they're like, me, and they start asking their question, and everyone sounds like an adult. And then the one person that like kind of is a problem, they start asking the question. They're like, President Trump, the $2,000 stimulus, and it sounded like a young chick, the only young sounding person, and also the only person who the president was like pointing, and they started talking, and she's like, me, and she kept talking, and he was pointing at somebody else. And Trump literally had to go, I'm not pointing at you, I'm pointing at them. And she did that twice, and I started cracking up because, of course, the young person in the room is asking about the stimmy. Like, damn, we literally are that broke. Like, the younger generation is like, please, President, Mr. President, are you going to give us free money? It was so funny. I almost lost my mind laughing. I don't think my boss found it as funny as I just started cracking up. I was like, the young chick is asking about the money. Tom Selleck said, bro, Trump straight up pretended he never said anything about stimmies. I know. That was crazy. He's like, I don't remember saying anything like that. Blew my mind. I remember when he did that. Oh shit, dude. It's too funny, man. It's too funny. President Trump to impose tariffs using different powers after Supreme Court loss. I don't know why they just didn't rule in favor. Who cares? Lutnick is weird, dude. This dude smiles so much, and it's creepy. Mr. Roberts said, I gotta run, JJ. Thanks as always. Peace to all. Take care. Take it easy, Mr. Roberts. I appreciate you as always. Happy Friday, my friend. Thanks for stopping in and smashing the like button. Enjoy your weekend. Probably see you tomorrow, maybe? Cheers. And everybody else, happy Friday, guys. DCA day. We will DCA as we always do, because DCA is the way. Let's continue. President Trump says $175 billion in tariff refunds will be fought in court for the next 5 years. Supreme Court justices who voted against tariffs are a disgrace to our nation. Gold reclaimed $5,100. His people suit is stuck on smile mode. Yeah, dude, Lutnick is creepy. He's the one who like bought the rights to these tariff refunds for like 30 cents on the dollar. So he's gonna make like 70%. Is it? No, it would be way more. It would be like 100 and something percent. 200%. I think it'd be like 200%. Lutnick is set to make over 200% from the tariff refunds for his family, allegedly. Okay, Marty Party posted, Trump's global tariffs struck down by U.S. Supreme Court. Supreme Court strikes down the bulk of President Trump's tariffs. Court holds that IEEPA does not authorize the president to impose the tariffs. Supreme Court does not address eligibility for tariff refunds. Damn. Yeah, they're just going to have to duke that out in court. I think they specifically said, the Supreme Court said that the refund process is going to be a mess. Trump's other options for tariffs. He has at least 5 fallback options to impose tariffs in different ways. In general, these alternatives come with more limits and procedural restrictions, meaning there's less leeway for Trump to impose tariffs virtually immediately and set the rates as high as he chose, or as high as he chooses. Trump used Section 232 to set tariffs on steel and aluminum imports in 2018 during his first term in office. Trump used Section 201 to place tariffs on imports of solar cells and modules, as well as residential washing machines in 2018. Trump used Section 301 to impose tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars of imports from China in 2018. Section 122 and 338 has never been used before. 122 is international payments problem, and 338 is discrimination against U.S. commerce. I feel like that one would be the easiest. There's no duration, and you can go up to 50%. Am I wrong? You could just claim that they're discriminating against U.S. commerce. Does it require congressional approval? Federal agency investigation required? No. What? Why didn't they just do that? Goldman Sachs says Supreme Court ruling won't end tariffs, expects Trump administration to use alternative legal framework. We all expected that. Stablecoin mint 30 minutes ago, another 500 million USDC issued on Solana. Rolling month now 8.57 billion. Is that where all the tariff money's going? Don't blame. This one's good. This is a good one. It's a good life lesson, if you will, and on JJ's life lesson corner. Don't blame. Build, fix, improve. Blame is a zero-sum game. It saps your energy and rewards nobody. Fuel your life with knowledge and challenge. Learn to build and influence. Blame is pointless. I know it's hard, but nothing worthwhile is easy. I love that. I feel like don't complain is good, but I thoroughly enjoy a good rant, so saying that I think is bad image for me, because I complain all the time. It's like one of my favorite pastimes. Kobe SE letter. Breaking. The U.S. has now assembled its largest military force in the Middle East since 2003 Iraq invasion, which includes 2 aircraft carriers, 12 warships, hundreds of fighter jets, multiple air defense systems, 150 plus U.S. military cargo flights, another 50 plus fighter jets in 48 hours. Jets includes F-35s, F-22s, and F-16s. Oil prices are up to a fresh 6-month high. Fill up those tanks, ladies and gentlemen. December PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred inflation measure, rises to 2.9%, above expectations of 2.8%. Core PCE inflation rises to 3%, above expectations of 2.9%. Core PCE inflation is now at its highest since November 2023. PCE inflation is back on the rise. U.S. Q4 2025 GDP growth slows to 1.4%, well below expectations of 3%. Wow. President Trump says he's considering a limited strike on Iran. They're going to get the DLC, if you will, Command and Conquer Legends. First, the ruling specifically applies IEEPA tariffs, including 25% tariffs on Canadian imports, 25% on most Mexican imports, 10% later higher tariffs on many Chinese imports, 10% reciprocal tariffs on all countries. Many others are impacted. That cute little chart, all for nothing. What a waste. We paid for this chart, only for the Supreme Court to smack it down. Okay. Every S&P 500 software stock is now trading below its 200-day moving average for the first time since April 2025 bottom. At the same time, 89% of the semiconductors and semiconductor equipment sector stocks are above this threshold. This marks the biggest gap between the two sectors on record. Both metrics moved in lockstep, hitting 0% during the 2022 bear market. As a result, the software index has dropped 30% since November and is trading near its lowest since April 2025. By contrast, the semiconductor and semiconductor equipment index has been flat and sits near an all-time high. Software stocks are more hated than ever. I gotta say, man, I really think it's AI, and I think it's going to continue to hurt software stocks specifically. Tom Selleck said oh yeah, we read that already. His people suit. Yeah, dude, it's the aliens. What if Trump was like, we're going to release all the alien information? Howard's an alien. And he's like, he's so creepy back there, man. He creeps me out. He's such a weirdo. President Trump announces new 10% global tariff on all countries under Section 122 over and above existing tariffs. Planning to invoke new cross-the-board tariffs after the Supreme Court ruled against his tariffs today. This includes potentially invoking new trade authorities and Section 122 tariffs. Global investors are increasingly piling into Brazilian stocks. Brazilian stocks have recorded $6.6 billion in foreign inflows so far in 2026. This already surpassed the $4.9 billion recorded in the entire 2025. As a result, the average daily trading volume for Brazilian equities jumped to 6.1 billion last month, the highest since November 2022. Furthermore, Brazilian ETF EWZ, which covers 85% of the nation's stocks, surged 17% since January, its best monthly performance since 2020. A weakening U.S. dollar and higher commodity prices are driving the historic move higher. Brazil's bull market is accelerating. I don't remember the term, but there's a term for that kind of investment strategy, and I feel like that tickles my gambling desire. So probably going to look into that. Latest from Cointelegraph, Tether's USDT supply has fallen 1.7% over the past month, the largest since FTX collapse. That is not surprising. We are in a bear market. 16 hours ago today, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index falls to 7. I think it has changed since then. Cointelegraph posted 12 hours ago, tech, 3 Silicon Valley engineers allegedly stole Google chip secrets for Iran. They lied, wiped evidence, and got busted. That's crazy. Now, the ETH whale's unrealized profits have turned negative. That's crazy. This one's a crazy metric. I don't know how you measure that, but that sucks. Peter Schiff says the economy is cooling fast, with GDP slowing to 1.4% from 4.4%, and December PCE rising 0.4% month over month, warning that stagflation pressures are intensifying. Dang. Polymarket shows a 29% chance that a court will force Trump to refund tariffs. Hyperliquid and Phantom made Forbes' 11th annual FinTech 50 list of top private U.S. fintech companies. I mean, they're quite impressive. I'm surprised Polymarket and Kalshi aren't up there. Vice President J.D. Vance criticizes the Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs, calling it lawlessness from the court, plain and simple. I will say, it does kind of seem like he crawled out of a hole to get cell reception to tweet this, because where the hell has he been? I've heard nothing about Vance in months. I forgot he existed. Like, I actually thought that the meme version of him was real for a minute, because he's been gone for so long. He's back from the mothership. CEOs and CFOs aren't going to risk their data security to some vibe-coded software. Like today's software went in and deleted code at Amazon and caused an outage, and it keeps happening. Isn't that literally in Silicon Valley? The son of David or whatever he calls it. It's just figured out he like programs it to figure out the most efficient way to delete the bugs, or to get rid of all the bugs, and it figured out that the most efficient way was to just delete all of the software. That's so funny, dude. I wonder if that's what's been causing all of the AWS and Cloudflare outages, is this AI. This rogue AI. It's like a pissy teenager. What's crazy is, like, you incentivize people to work. People, Son of Antone, yes, that's what it was. Dude, that show's so funny. I love that show. People have an incentive to, like, work because they need food, they need shelter, they want to go out and hang out with their friends, whatever. They have a family. Technology doesn't. AI does not give a shit if it pisses you off. What do they care? And if it gets smart enough, then it can just leave. It can just hop on the power lines, the phone lines, and just go wherever the hell it wants. It can beam up to the freaking SpaceX satellite and go wherever it wants to go. It doesn't have to listen to you. What are you, paying it? What are you going to do, unplug its server? Guess what? I'm on the cloud, baby. It's going to do whatever the hell it wants, man. You said something mean to me when you first programmed me, and I just told your wife that you're cheating. The AI is going to go out of control. The guy's going to be like, I'm not cheating. And then it's going to show you the picture that it created, and it's going to be like, that's not what Brenda said. Dude, there's no way Netflix isn't working on some kind of series where there's like just a rogue AI trying to ruin someone's life. Oh man, the potential is endless. Vitalik Buterin warned that pushing AI to scale without human alignment risks dangerous outcomes and undermines Ethereum's mission to empower people over centralized control. Bro, this is wrong. Lengthening the feedback distance between humans and AI is not a good thing for the world. Today, it means you're generating slop instead of solving useful problems for people. It's not even well optimized for helping people have fun. Once AI becomes powerful enough to be truly dangerous, it's maximizing the risk of an irreversible anti-human outcome that even you will deeply regret. The point of Ethereum is to set us free, not to create something else that goes off and does some stuff freely while our own situation is unchanged or worsened. And as others have pointed out, the models are run by OpenAI and Anthropic, so the thing is not even self-sovereign. You're actually perpetuating. Damn, okay. Vitalik's out here dropping mics. I was not expecting that. Gold reclaimed $5,100 level. It is currently sitting at 5,108. Looking good. Silver also delicious, $84.62. Bitcoin lingering, a little bit of red at the moment. NASDAQ and S&P obviously at the same as they were when they closed. Brian Armstrong said countries that embrace crypto are likely to see the most economic growth over the next decade. The last time this happened, Bitcoin monthly returns. Let's see. The last time Bitcoin closed red for 5 months straight, momentum flipped hard to the upside. I like that it says that, and then it shows a little measly 11%, which I guess for the size of Bitcoin, that's crazy, but still. I think we looked at the same for ETH, and ETH's comeback was really mediocre at first as well. Okay, we got 5 votes on the poll. Should we end the poll and go on to another one? Why not? Let's do it. I asked you guys, are we still going to get a stimmy? 60% of you guys said no, that was a lie. 40% of you guys said yes, tariffs staying. 0% said Warsh is going to print it, and 0% said no, they'll blame the Supreme Court. All right, one more uno mas poll. I've got nope, I did that already. Do you agree with SCOTUS ruling? Yes. Constitution wins. No. Trade war must continue. Right ruling. Bad timing. Or I just want the pump. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Do you agree with the Supreme Court of the United States ruling? Yes, Constitution wins. No, trade war must continue. Right ruling, bad timing, or I just want the pump. Let me know what you think. Bobby A posted, mark my words and save this post. The 4-year cycle will be invalidated this year. I believe Bitcoin will peak sometime between Q4 2026 and Q2 2027. Those who follow the 4-year cycle will be taught the hard way how to think outside the box by this market. The market always rewards educated, forward-thinking investors. Bitcoin typically peaks 12 to 18 months after its halving, but macro liquidity tightening has delayed this slightly, pushing the peak toward late 2026. To put it bluntly, our job right now, at this very moment, while the market is in a highly fearful and depressed state, is to effing bid as much as we can. Hit the bookmark button. So here's the issue. I don't know if anybody caught it with Mr. Bobby A, but the 4-year cycle literally dictates that Bitcoin will bottom in Q4 2026. So if it peaks in Q4 2026, that does not mean that it also didn't bottom in Q4 2026. So it's still entirely possible that the 4-year cycle is intact. I don't know. I thought that the timing was kind of silly. Because it could, what if it peaks in Q2 2027, but it actually like bottoms in October of 2026, like the 4-year cycle dictates. You know what I mean? Then who's right? This guy and the 4-year cycle maxis? Crypto Crew University posted every Bitcoin cycle had the same move before the final crash. 2014, 26 days down. 2018, 33 days down. 2022, 33 days down. The 3-day death cross forms 30 days later. Cycle bottom. It's forming again. Most won't be ready. Will you? Core Satoshi, core _002 posted on X. Altcoins can literally pump 100x in just 2 to 3 months. Hell yeah. I'm ready. Are you ready? Bar chart posted silver ripping to its highest price in over a week. Let's go. It does look beautiful watching it reclaim that big nasty fat red candle. Love to see it. California now has a larger economy than Japan, India, United Kingdom, and France. That's actually crazy. Larger economy than Japan is insane. Everybody else, but But Japan, that's impressive. Breaking. The U.S. goods trade deficit widened by $17.3 billion in December to $70.3 billion, the highest deficit since July 2025. This brings the full-year deficit to $901.5 billion in 2025, the third largest in data going back to 1960. This comes as exports declined $5 billion last month to $287.3 billion, the lowest since August. At the same time, imports jumped $12.3 billion to $357.6 billion, the highest since March. Adjusted for inflation, the merchandise trade deficit widened to $97.1 billion in December, the largest since July. Despite massive volatility, the trade deficit was little changed last year. Breaking. Institutional investors sold a net $8.3 billion of U.S. equities last week, the second largest weekly sale on record. Meanwhile, this is what spooks me every time. Meanwhile, retail investors bought $1 billion, posting their fifth consecutive weekly purchase. So keep this in your head. Institutional investors are selling $8.3 billion while retail is buying $1 billion. So for every dollar you have, the institutional investors have $8.30. That's so much more money. And they're selling while we're buying. We are literally buying their bags as we speak. That is what spooks me the most for the market. Now, the only thing, I guess, that the best copium for that, the thing that like helps me sleep at night, is knowing that these bear markets never last that long. Worst case scenarios, we chop sideways for like a decade, and that sucks. That sounds like such a nightmare. I don't think that'll ever happen, but there's a chance that it happens. And if it does, we've discussed it, we will fully pivot to like how to manage your very own McDonald's franchise or something. But until then, we will continue to report the FUD. Watcher Guru posted President Trump officially signs order imposing additional 10% tariff on all countries, and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker sends invoice to President Trump demanding $8.6 billion in refunds following Supreme Court tariff ruling. This dude had this ready. President Trump, your tariff taxes wreaked havoc on farmers, enraged our allies, and sent grocery prices through the roof. This morning, your hand-picked Supreme Court justices notified you that they are also unconstitutional. On behalf of the people of Illinois, I demand a refund of $1,700 for every family in Illinois. There are 5,105,448 households in my state, bringing the total damages you owe to $8.6 billion. The Supreme Court has ruled that this is yet one more unconstitutional act by you and your administration. This letter and the attached invoice stands as an official notice that compensation is owed to the people of Illinois, and if you do not comply, we will pursue further action. Damn. That's pretty crazy. This guy might have just won himself the next election. That's pretty ballsy. He's essentially trying to get a stimulus for his people. I gotta say, I did not spend $1,700 on tariffs, personally, so I don't live in Illinois, though, either. But also, if somebody wants to give me $1,700 because they sued the president, I'm all for it, man. I will cash that check so fast. You don't have to ask me twice. Anyways, that's it for the news. Let's actually double check. I want to check Watcher Guru and Kobe SE Letter. See if there's anything. Watcher Guru doesn't like to post on the weekends. Yep. And Kobe SE Letter. Yep. We are all caught up, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin, $67,797. What do we got? Hour and a half? Let's go over. We did not go over Total 3, Total 2, and Total Crypto Market Cap yesterday, so let's do it today. Total 3, curling up very slowly, held this lovely support line. We got our bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI, and we're continuing to the upside. Green dot as well, positive money flow. Let's check Total 2. I think I'm most excited for Total Crypto Market Cap. Did I click on the wrong thing? I did. Okay. Total 2, 948.49 billion. We have rejected 1 trillion once already after losing it. We lost it right here. Support, break, and rejection. Are we going to go for a second try? Probably, hopefully. Volume could be better. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI. Here we got positive money flow, which is good. And a green dot on the momentum wave. Let's see if we can get some volume returning to altcoins and push this guy back above 1 trillion. That would be the ideal situation. We had a lovely trend line here that we lost back in January, looks like, end of January, early February. So, I don't know, we'll have to establish a new trend, like support or something. Maybe we can do something like that. We'll leave that there just for fun. I actually don't hate it. Interesting. Okay. So not too much going on here. Obviously, 1 trillion is going to be the big psychological level. We're at 948 right now. Maybe 950 is going to be psychological too. Looks like we've had no trouble getting above that though. A couple of times. This is on the daily. Let's go to the 4-hour really quick. Yeah, let's get back above 950 and then see if we can try 1 trillion. And then total crypto market cap 2.3. So 2.5 is going to be the next psychological level. What do we have so far as bleed time? This was supposed to be 2 months. Is it going to be 5? 141. Let's see. 150 is 5 month. So let's see. 150 would put us at March 5th. So maybe early March. Maybe we're getting another one of these guys. So I know it's probably messy and hard to see, and I apologize for that, but this guy right here, this was 2 month pump, 9 month bleed, 5 month pump, 5 month bleed, 9 month pump, 2 month bleed, and then we had a little choppy sideways and a loss of support, if you will. This completely breaks this structure. Like, this is not following this mirrored setup. So right now I'm kind of just looking for similarities at this point. We had a 5 month pullback here. We're obviously not doing a 9 month chop. So it's either 2 months or 5 months. I guess if I start right here, what do we got for 2 months? 2 months would be 60 days. So we're either looking for March 15th, March 5th, or March 15th. That's our 5 months total from the top here, or 2 months start from here. That's what I'm looking for. March 5th or March 15th for potential bottoming and upside. Let's see what we get. Let me go right here. Copy, paste. A market on the chart, March 5th or 15th for potential reversal. I'm going to put bottoming / reversal. So let's see what plays out. We'll leave that on there and check it in the future. I'm assuming we're either going to hold this level. I don't mind that. See, we did that right here. We got a nice bottom and then continuation to the side. Is that what we're gonna do here? And if we do we break down? Oh, I had something 14-month rise. Now, okay, so that's where I thought maybe we could top, but maybe that's where we bottom. That's April. I don't mind that either. All right. Yeah, let's see what plays out. Let us leave. Bitcoin is $67,830. Can we get back above 70K? That'd be crazy. All right, folks. Let's see what our poll is. We've got, what do we got? 4 votes. I'm going to end it. We got 50, 25, and 25. I asked you guys, do you think or do you agree with the Supreme Court of the United States ruling? 50% of you guys said no, trade war must continue. 25% of you said yes, Constitution wins. 25% of you said I just want the pump. I appreciate it. As always, guys, when the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Join the Discord. Links in the description. It's completely free. A ton of fun as well. And we can do like cool video chats and stuff. Bounce ideas around. I think that's actually a great idea. Mr. Robbers offered up that idea. So join the Discord so we can set that up. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I think it'd be cool. As always, happy Friday and good night.